very good evening. Much thanks for joining us here on the program. It is the 16th day of March 2023. A lot happening in the political arena as well as the health matters. We've got you covered in all of that plus more in our broadcast tonight. This is #LookUpNews. Before we get into the stories of the day, here are the highlights. Tonight on Lookup News, Paul loses land CAS positions in government as Ruto nominates 50 CASs. Cholera death toll rises to 6 in Machakos County.
I've said that I am prepared to pay the ultimate price if that will mean liberating the people of Kenya.
And Azimio Brigade leads anti-government rallies in Nakuru. Once more, welcome to the broadcast. I am Nelima, and our sign language interpreter for tonight is Felista Adundo. Do stay with us as we bring you up to speed with the latest happening in the country. President William Ruto has nominated 50 chief administrative secretaries to serve in different ministries in his government. This is after they successfully went through interviews conducted by Public Service Commission 2 weeks ago. The nominees will now be vetted by the National Assembly before appointment by the President. Henry Tende now reports.
In the list by Head of Public Service Felix Koskei, President William Ruto has recommended for appointment 15 names of men and women to fill Chief Administrative Secretaries' positions in various ministries. President Ruto has rewarded his confidence and seasoned politicians, including Bishop Margaret Wanjiru, appointed CAS Ministry of Cooperatives, former Nairobi Women Rep aspirant Millicent Omanga, who has been nominated CAS Interior. ICT Guru Dennis Itumbi has been nominated CAS ICT. Evans Odhiambo Kidero in the Ministry of Trade. Former Starehe constituency Member of Parliament Charles Njagwa is the CAS nominee in the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Art and Sports. Isaac Mwaura, if approved, will serve in the office of Chief Cabinet Secretary, while Catherine Waruguru will serve in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as former NAT Secretary General Wilson Sossion takes his position as CAS Ministry of Tourism. Office of the Deputy President has been allocated 3 CAS, namely Anne Wanjiku Mwangi, Nicholas Ngabiya Rioba, and Edwin Sudi Wandabusi. Likewise, the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary has received 3 CAS who include Sharif Athman Ali, Isaac Mwaura Maigwa, and Rehema Hassan. 3 ministries of Interior, Education, and Investments, Trade and Industry have each been allocated 3 CAS. In the Ministry of Interior, President Ruto has nominated for appointment Samuel Kuntai Tunai, Millicent Nyaboke Omanga, and Mohamud Ali Saleh. Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry will be served by former Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero, Vincent Kemosi Mogaka, and Lillian Cheptoo Tomitom. While in Education, the President has nominated Eli Stephen Oldepe, Mark Lomunokol, and Anna Mohamed. 17 ministries have been allocated 2 CAS each. These include Foreign Affairs, National Treasury, Roads and Transport, Public Works, Lands, ICT, Health, Agriculture, Mining and Blue Economy, ESCV, Asphalt and Regional Development, Labor, Energy and Petroleum, Water and Irrigation, Tourism and Wildlife, Environment, Cooperatives, Youth Affairs, Art and Sports. Famous journalists who are gunning for the CAS positions and did not make the cut include Linda Ogutu, Mwanaisha Chizuga, and Boniface Musambi. The CAS nominees will now wait for Parliament vetting before they start their work officially. Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
Thank you, Tende, for the detailed report. Now to health matters. As the country grapples with cholera cases in the recent month, the number of cholera deaths reported in Machakos County as of 6th March 2023 now stands at 6. According to Machakos Health Executive Daniel Yumbia, 4 cases were reported in Mavuko Sub-County last week and 2 other cases registered in Kangundo. Abigail Shearer now reports.
It is a sorry state of affairs as the numbers of people who have succumbed to cholera gets to 6 in Machakos County. This number was confirmed as of 6th March 2023, raising a concern from the Ministry of Health and the county government. According to the report released by the Machakos County Health Department, Mavoko, Matungulu and Kangundo sub-counties have reported such cases, with 46 out of 51 cases reported in the county coming from Movoko.
Starts at 46, but 46 in Mavoko and 3 in Kangundo, total 51 persons. And the admissions, as we speak now, we have discharged all the patients. We are remaining with 6, 3 in Mavoko, level 4 hospital, and 2 in Machakos, level 5.
The county administration has since raised an alarm for need to reinforce the ban of food hawking in Athi River town that was put in place last week.
We extended the ban of hawking up to Tuesday next week. But as I said, this was because yesterday there were 2 cases, and upon consultation with Her Excellency and the Cabinet, we resolved that we extend the ban up to Tuesday next week.
In a rejoinder, residents are advised to take caution of what they eat and observe hygiene.
Continue washing their hands, drink safe water, avoid defecation and use toilets, and make sure they cook their food thoroughly.
Abigail Shira, Lookuptv.
And staying on health, members of the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentist Union, alongside other health sector unions, have decried delay in payment of salaries in the month of February by counties. This is opposed to the commitment made by Council of Governors to pay workers not later than 5th, as a change from the perennial salary delays, in the past, with workers going for more than 3 months without pay. The issue has seen doctors threaten to down their tolls.
According to the union, health workers have been faced with myriads of challenges in the last 10 years, as most county governments have failed to prioritize their welfare. The health workers were alerted concerning the delay in the month of February in a circular.
We don't need to have disruption of services because money meant for paying workers in the counties has not been sent to the counties or to the workers. And whatever it is between the county governments and national government that may make it to have delays in disbursement, I think it's a time that the Treasury can come with a mechanism and a framework to ensure that just the same way we have TSC paying teachers on time, the same way we have Judicial Service Commission paying magistrate and judges on time, the same way we have Police Service Commission paying police on time without delays, the same way national government pay all the workers mid-month, it's high time that the healthcare workers in the county be fit some dignity in terms of their salary payments.
The matter is believed to have been compounded by delays in the disbursement of money to counties. According to the union, salary delays have pushed health workers into untold suffering due to hardship leading to depression among some medics.
Majority of workers, healthcare workers in the counties, are faced with non-payment of statutory deductions. That means they can't access even the care that they're giving. Now the loans and the loaning institutions are following healthcare workers left, right, and centers. The healthcare workers are receiving a lot of warnings and information from the landlords regarding the continuous delay in payments of their rent.
The National Treasury is yet to release disbursement for the month of February, which has allegedly occasioned the delay. Health officers have continued to call on Treasury to approach an amicable solution so as to put an end to the matter. Cecilia Lubanga, Lookuptv.
To some politics, leaders of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition on Thursday stormed Nakuru County, part of President William Ruto's Rift Valley home turf, warning foreign countries against interfering with Kenya's affairs. This comes ahead of their planned March 20th walk to State House, a protest against what has been termed as an illegitimate government.
Resolution of Nakuru People's Baraza, March 16th, 2023. The march on Nairobi is on. In 4 days' time, we have a march on Nairobi that kicks off an unprecedented campaign of defense of Mr. William Ruto and his illegitimate regime. It is only fair that before we take this next step, we spell out our case against Mr. Ruto as follows. The price of unga, of cooking oil, petrol, diesel, and even school fees imepanda.
Kupigania haki ya wananchi wa Kenya. Tutaenda kwa sababu huyu bwana Ruto anasema ati maandamano hayatakuwa ya amani. Nataka hapa tuchukue kiapo kwamba sisi wa Kenya tutaandamana kwa maandamano ya amani tupu. Wangapi wanasema hivyo? Yule ataleta ghasia, huyo sio mwananchi sawa sawa. Mwenye kuleta ghasia huyo hana njaa. Yule mwenye njaa ataenda aketi chini kwa barabara wiki moja, wiki mbili, mpaka Ruto na watu wake wasikilize.
Away from that, with the dollar currently rating at 145 shillings, the situation is expected to worsen if proper measures are not put in place. This is according to the managing partner at the AMG Capital, George Munga. As Ian Keitani now reports, this comes at a time when the cost of living continues to skyrocket.
As the country battles the high cost of living, the situation is expected to worsen as the Kenyan shilling continues to deteriorate against the dollar, which now trades at 145, despite different figures being fronted by the Central Bank of Kenya. According to the managing partner at AMG Capital, George Munga, the weakening of the shilling has been brought about by several factors, top among them increased pressure and over-dependence on importation.
There has been supply chain disruptions all the way from COVID times. You remember when COVID struck, there was disruptions in the world trade and supply chain. And when COVID eventually subsided, there was a lot of pressure for traders to try and catch up. Meaning there was an increased pressure for importation for most of the economies around the world. The economy has not been very stable. That trace goes even before the 2022 elections. Already there was a lot of pressure on our debt repayment. Remember, in November last year, the government was not able to meet its dollar obligations for loan repayment. They had to defer, I think, around $699 million repayment that were due then.
Just what will be the effect of the weakening shilling on the economy?
Today we are importing petrol, say at $60 a barrel, and tomorrow we do at $80 a barrel. Then that essentially go into your pump price, meaning the cost of petrol will increase by a similar margin. That is why you've seen the cost of fuel increase from, I think, from all the way from November on a month-on-month basis. And of course, when the price of energy increases, the price of energy, let me put it that way, increases, then it affects the common mwananchi almost immediately. The cost of raw materials that we import to be able to manufacture our day-to-day goods that we consume increases.
This comes as the Treasury Principal Secretary Chris Kipto insists that there is enough dollar in the country despite the low circulation.
If things were to remain the way they are, then the shilling is likely to slide even lower. I was telling you that our forecast is that the shilling might go to 150, 160 if nothing was done between now and June.
If the government does not find proper interventions in place, what will be the situation of the shilling?
Remember, we closed the year when the dollar was around 116, 117, and within 3 months we are trading at around 142 today. I think some banks are quoting 142 today, and we forecast as people who play in that space that the dollar might go all the way to 150 or 160 by June this year. That is if the government doesn't intervene.
Even as the government plans to import oil from Saudi Arabia using the Kenyan shilling, Munga insists that it is a strategic move and it will help in stabilizing the situation.
If we are able to get a country, an oil-producing country that can sell us oil, and they accept payments and other means other than the USD, then of course we'll ease pressure on the demand for USD.
According to Munga, one of the ways to ensure that the situation gets better is through floating for another Eurobond, although it might not be a long-term solution.
If they go out there and secure maybe another Eurobond, the only challenge I would have is at what rate will they get those finances to be coming into the economy. What that does is that it is able now to cushion the Kenya shillings from the day-to-day fluctuations.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Thank you, Ian Kitani, for that detailed report. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration is on the spot yet again for approving 6 billion Kenya shillings for Telecom Kenya buyout in the run-up to last year's general election. As Shadrack Karera now reports, the Parliamentary Departmental Committee on Finance has proposed to summon former key leaders, including a former Treasury CS Ukur Yatani.
It's not in order.
The 6 billion Kenyan shilling scandal that took place during the final days of the previous administration has continued to attract the attention of Kenyans as the Parliamentary Finance Committee continues to dig deeper into the matter.
Who communicates, who writes letters on behalf of National Security Council? The Secretary of the National Security Council is the head of public service.
On Thursday, the committee was set to hear from the management of Jamhuri Holding Company, who failed to appear. The company is said to have entered into an agreement with the last administration, where it is said to have received 6.1 billion shillings after allegedly selling telecom companies' shares to the government.
That is the opening chapter. That is the opening, the gateway, the beginning. So I also agree.
As a way of getting to the root of the matter, the committee proposed to summon key leaders who served during President Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure.
The person that makes the decision that we acquire this, because if you want, someone wants to exit, you can get any buyer. Even Safaricom can buy or any other company. But the partner called Republic of Kenya decided that we buy it. Who is the Republic of Kenya? Where is the decision of the Republic of Kenya decided? It is decided in the cabinet chaired by the president.
Some of the big names suspected to have been part of the deal include the former head of public service Joseph Kinyua, former CS for Treasury Ukur Yatani, and Joe Mucheru, who served at the CS for ICT.
This is not complete, minus the DG Communication Authority. There is a provision, I'm sure our lawyers will guide us, that you cannot alter the shareholding of any ICT, any telecommunication company without the approval of Communication Authority.
Chairman, you don't want to look at that side? That is the genesis. And Chairman, this Republic of Kenya call a partner who submits matters of, when the cabinet sits like in this table, who submits to the cabinet on that matter of telecom sale? Cabinet Secretary for ICT. And in that particular case, at that time, the holder of that office is one Musheru.
The committee argues that there is possibility that more money was spent on the deal that has never come to pass.
And that is why, for me, what appears here is that Jamhuri Holdings were basically fleeing a burning platform.
The business agreement between Jamhuri Holding and the government shows that the state did not only pay the cash, but also covered the company against any lawsuit.
So we did not just go ahead and pay, we indemnified Jamhuri Holdings from any judicial or any other government authority inquiry, whatever it is, on this particular matter.
Shadrack Karera, Lookuptv.
And that story by Shadrack Karera takes us for a very fast break here on the program. The hashtag is #LookUpNews. Do let us know what your thoughts are, and I'll be sampling some of your feedback at the tail end of this bulletin. Don't go too far.
Nairobi County. Are you ready for the biggest TV roadshow? Lookuptv, the fastest growing family entertainment channel, will be coming to you live from your estate starting on the 30th of March to the 2nd of April. Our caravan will be transversing through the following routes. 30th March, Amboseli Gardens, Lavington, Reruta Satellite, Dagoretti Corner, Kibra, Langata. 31st March, Jogoo Road, Makongeni, Hamsa, Pipeline, Tasia, Donholm, Buruburu, Umoja, Kayole. 1st April, Juja Road, Pangani, Mlango Kubwa, Mathare, Huruma, Kariobangi, Dandora, Babadogo, Mathare North. 2nd April, Thika Road, Kasarani, Mwiki, Kahawa Sukari, Zimmerman, TRM, and finish it off live in the CBD at the Nairobi Archives. We are welcoming partners and sponsors to take advantage of this high-energy, experiential and promotional opportunity to push your sales and brands in Nairobi. To book your slot, contact us now on 0110-430-158 or email us sales@lookuptv.co.ke. You can also interact with us on all our social media pages and get the latest news updates on our website, lookuptv.co.ke. Welcome on board.
Utachagua sura au tabia unapotaka kumchumbia mwanamke?
Anaweza kuwa mrembo lakini hana tabia.
Naweza jifanya ndio hata kama hapa sitapata, nipate kwa tabia.
Ukweli wa mambo ni kwamba wanaume wengi, hata wale ambao wanatutazama wakati huu, ni sura inawavutia mara ya kwanza.
Ukiona mwanaume anasema ule dem ako poa, ule dem, hafikirii future na huyo dem. Huyo mwenye ako poa anapendeza, anakaa vizuri,
acha kutudanganya. Wajua waweza kuwa na tabia nzuri lakini ikabadilishwa na hali. Kanisani wanja ndugu yangu waimba kwaya, wakishuka wakipanga masika na hao ndugu hawachukui.
Lazima nikae na wewe kwa muda fulani. Nikusome, nikujue kindani sana.
Kuna uchunguzi wa aina mbili ndugu yangu, kuna uchunguzi wa polisi na wa CID. Kama kuna mtu ambaye ana ujuzi wa hali ya juu ya kujifanya na kukusoma akili yako na kukufanya wewe uamini kile unachotaka kutoka kwake, ni mwanamke.
And welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with Lookuptv. The hashtag is LookUpNews. Nancy Nelima here and Felista Adundo on the sign language interpretation. Let's continue. Victims have been compensated at the Kakamega Law Court, and today they have been granted 1.25 million shillings for the children who perished at the Kakamega Primary School, the stampede in 2020. Senior Judge Linus Kassan ordered compensation of 1.25 million shillings each, noting that the parents provided evidence and showed that the management of the school failed to ensure the safety of the pupils as required.
The event of February 3rd, 2020 is still very raw, but today, justice has finally been served to the parents of students that were affected by the Kakamega Primary Stampede.
For the above reasons, I find and hold that the defendants are jointly and severally liable for the minors' fatal injuries at 100% liability. So I proceed to award of damages for Ibrahim Kiverenge, award of 1,250,000. Lois, award of 1,250,000.
Unfortunately, in that greasy incident, 15 students lost their lives as they were going down from the building. Kakamega Law Courts ordered for each of the 15 families to be compensated with a sum of 1.25 million. Justice Linus Kassan ruled that this should act as a lesson to all schools, that all the teachers should make sure that students are safe at all times, since the parents provided enough proof to show that the school failed to ensure the safety of those pupils.
Hakuna kiwango chochote cha fedha ambacho kinaweza mrudisha mtoto. Hakuna kiwango chochote ambacho kinaweza sema kwamba sasa leo huyu mtoto sasa ndio huyu hapa. Hapana. Mimi ni kushukuru tu, at least kile kiwango ambacho wamepeana pia ni sawa. Kwa sababu gani? Huu ni mtoto alifariki kupita ambapo tungelizunguka alafu tutoke bila kupata chochote. Kwa hivyo hakuna kiwango chochote, hata leo kupatiwa milioni 20 haiwezi rudisha ule mtoto. Lakini afadhali pia ionyeshe wale walimu na ile shule ni kwamba waliweka uteketevu shuleni.
The 15 students were aged 9 to 12 and perished in the evening panic flight on February 3rd, 2020. They died due to asphyxia. The report stated that according to the evidence, no one had been named in connection with the rush and no blatant illegal act had been performed. It was a bad, unfortunate incident that happened. Parents who lost children in the disaster were outraged by the late Professor Magoha's advice to put the past behind them and concentrate on matters that are more crucial to the school. Phoebe Wangombe, Lookuptv.
Moving on, stakeholders in Naivasha want the government to ban irrigation, mainly along rivers and streams flowing into Lake Naivasha, as there is rising concern over the drying up of the freshwater lake. According to Water Resource Users Association, all rivers flowing into the lake have dried up due to the drought that has affected over 23 counties. There are fears that the freshwater lake could turn saline in the coming days after River Malewa, which is the main tributary, dried up. The lake levels are also said to drop by at least 4 centimeters every week due to evaporation and obstruction by farmers and industries.
Hali tuko saa hizi ni mto Malewa ambayo inatoka kaunti ya Nyandarua inakuja mpaka Lake Naivasha ambayo iko katika kaunti ya Nakuru, na hali ilivyo sasa vile unaona ni kwamba maji yameisha kwa mto. Hata yale unaona saa hizi kwa mto ni maji ambayo wananchi wamechimba mashimo ndio maji iweze kujaa, waweze kutumia kunyunyizia mimea zao na kuosha nguo vile unaona hapa chini, na pia kupatia mifugo yao. So na hii inatokana na janga ambalo tunaita ukame ambalo lime affect nchi mzima ya Kenya.
And now we take a look at what's happening in the counties with Gladys Masharia.
Speaking in Matungu area of Kakamega County, the residents complain that the water contained petrol and has been very hazardous to their health, especially children and the elderly in the village.
Tungeomba serikali kupitia kwa gavana wetu Fernandes Baraza, tungeomba kama anaweza tuma watu wa afya wakuja watutembelee, waone kama haya maji ama hii sehemu ni mzuri tena ya kutengeneza maji ili iweze kusaidia watu hapa.
Also in Kisii County, health centers in the area were increasing their services and installing advanced medical equipment compared to the changing times. Among such centers is Krista Marian, which improved health services in outpatient and inpatient departments through the establishment of modern ICU.
I want to associate myself as the bishop of this diocese with the good work the sisters have realized here daily for the betterment of our human condition. Congratulations, my dear doctors, medical officers present, nurses, and other supporting staff in this hospital.
And in Kajajini village in Malindi, more than 1,000 residents have volunteered to raise funds to install a water pipe that will enable them to drink clean fresh water.
Ya mawe mengi sana katika maeneo yetu, tulikuwa tunaomba pengine tungesaidika tupate hizo machines, tuweze kusaidika kupata machine ambazo zingeweza kupasua hayo mawe, kwa sababu mawe katika hiyo mitaro ni kama miamba, na wengi ni wamama katika hii project, na tumechukua hatua hii kwa sababu tuweze kumaliza hiyo shida ya maji. Tunazidi kuomba ya kwamba tusaidike katika maeneo yetu haya ambayo tuko. Shida ya pili ni kuhusu umeme. Maeneo haya kwa miaka mingi hayana umeme, hayana stima. Ni giza, imekuwa shida hata kwa watoto wetu wanaporauka asubuhi kuelekea mashuleni. Wizi umeendelea, kuna vitu vingi vimetendeka katika maeneo yetu kwa sababu ya kukosa umeme katika maeneo haya. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali pamoja na uongozi ambao uko mashinani tuweze kusaidiwa, tuweze kupata stima katika maeneo haya. Basi mtakapo tujali namna hiyo, tunaamini ya kwamba Mungu wa mbinguni atawabariki.
Gladys Masharia, Lookuptv.
Pale manispaa, pale county pale
Time now to get sporty. Women have been encouraged to actively take part in coach training. According to Kayole starlet player Lucy Njeri, who is among 30 grassroots coaches undergoing training, women have the ability to coach men in various football clubs.